This show is sponsored in part by Miss Meow Clothing, offering quality custom clothing for the entire family. Coming soon. Brought to you by Miss Cat. This show is sponsored Welcome to the Golden Square Podcast with your hosts, Linda Scott and Sharilyn Fisher. Are you ready? Because we're starting right now, only on Stunner Radio, the heart and soul of the culture.
Hey, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the Golden Square, hosted by myself, Linda Scott, and Miss Sharilyn Fisher. We're going to get right into where we need to go because tonight is episode number 3, but part 2 of domestic violence. Right. So how was your day today?
I had a wonderful day.
Okay, me too. Let's do this. So our guest this evening is returning Dr. Jennifer Gilbert. Hey, girl.
Hey,
how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
We're so excited to continue part 2 of this.
Yes. So listen, let me just have you to tell the people a little about you so they'll know when we're going, it's going.
So I am Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, as you so eloquently said. I am the founder and CEO of DDV 365, which is Demolishing Domestic Violence 365 days a year. I'm an author, I'm a playwright, I'm a producer, I television host, like all these different things that I do, all in the name of Christ. And it's just about getting people saved, delivered, and set free. And it does not always mean spirituality, but it means in life as well.
Yes. And that's what we need, more freedom in life.
Right.
The spiritual going to get you, but we need that freedom in life. We need that.
Right.
So just a little bit, just to refresh just a little bit, some of the main questions that we were asking and we were concerned about was like, why do people feel embarrassed by being in a domestic violence situation? Can you just give a little bit about that?
Sure. I think a lot of it, there's levels to the embarrassment. Okay. There's the embarrassment of the fact that I look weak because I'm allowing somebody to manipulate who I am, who I really am, who God called me to be. And understand that abuse can be physical, it can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be psychological, it could be financial, it could be spiritual. There are so many ways that people can be abused, and we often equate abuse with weakness. And so, people perceive you as weak when you come forth and say, I've been abused. And then there's the shame of the fact that, watch this, not only am I being abused, but now I'm choosing to stay in the abuse. Yes. So now I'm embarrassed for that because it looks like I'm even weaker. Right? But then the embarrassment extends even after you get out, because now it's, dang, you let somebody hit you for real?
For real.
Where was your mama then? Where was your daddy then? Girl, I would have been, and you always have those friends who watch this, or sometimes in abusive relationships themselves. They're saying, girl, if it was me, I woulda, shoulda, coulda, and you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
But I'm masking my fear. I'm masking my embarrassment by deflecting on you.
Right. Okay, well that I hope everybody caught that, because that was like that was very, very powerful. I was really I was just engaged in all of that right there again, because I mean, we can't be embarrassed. I need help, so I don't have time to be embarrassed. Help me.
Right.
That's right. The other thing that it stuck with me was how to change
the narrative.
Yeah.
How to change the narrative.
How do we get out?
Well, there are several different ways. Number one, of course, people be like, oh, you could just walk away. It's not that easy.
Right.
Because of the fact that you have to, I always say this, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Right.
And if we really get to the heart of the matter, most of the times when people go back to their abuser, it's because they failed to plan how to adequately leave. Which means they had no money saved. They don't know where the resources, what resources to go for. They don't know where to go for help. They can't trust their family and friends because now I'm dealing with the shame of my family and friends saying, well, you should have been left a long time ago. Or God forbid that you left and went back and then now you're leaving again. You should have stayed gone the first time. It's those types of things. So with BDB 365 on our website, jgilbertministries.com, we have what you call an exit plan. And the exit plan is a checklist that nobody ever really thinks about, because think about it, when you're leaving in a panic, you're not thinking about birth certificates and medical records and medication and change of clothes and identification cards and things that you're not thinking about life insurance policies and stuff like that. But that's what the plan of action is to make sure that you have everything that you need prior to leaving. And then
they're going to go to your website and check out all the exit plans and all that. Now, one more thing, I promise, one more thing, just for refreshing, is how do we unlearn what we learned, that behavior? How do we do that?
Educating yourself, understanding that abuse is not just somebody physically putting their hands on you. Abuse can come in so many forms. And the thing is we have to grow out, mature out, pray out, deliver from the mentality of what happens in my house stays in my house.
Okay.
Because what happens is if you keep that mentality, you die in your house.
Wow. See, that whole week, from Thursday to this Thursday, has really blown my mind, has had me so crazy and so full of want to know. Because I wanted to know, and I was discussing with Sharilyn and our friends, how do we stop the violence, the domestic violence, without being that violent person? How do we stop abusing? How do we stop it? How do we stop it?
I think that, somebody, I don't remember. I've been doing so many shows. I'm not for sure if it was on this one or if it was on another one, but somebody said, stop collecting the red flags.
That was our show last week.
Right? Yeah. And that means and that statement has stayed in my mind, and it may you might even see it as a book title. But when that person said that, it struck so deep. How do we get away from it? Is because we have to acknowledge it the first time we see it. Maya Angelou said it best. She said, when they show you who they are the first time, believe them.
Yes.
And don't be like, oh, I just had a bad day. Well, so did I, but I didn't put my hands on nobody. I didn't belittle or do anything to anybody else. So we have to make sure that we educate ourselves on what abuse looks like, what it is, what are the signs, what are the signals, and then we have to act on it. Don't wink at it, because it's just like sin. If you keep winking at sin, that sin will overtake you.
That's right.
One of the things from last week that really, really got me and made me really think about it is that some abusive women come from abusive childhood, come from their parents putting them down, society putting them down as children, as teenagers, as young ladies, and that is what they become accustomed to. And so they fit right back in with that abusive spouse, abusive boyfriend, because that's just what they're used to.
Right. And that's what they equate love to. And
Right.
I would take it a step further, because I was abused as a child, yes, but after a while I was so timid, because it was my mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was so timid by it, because they always say, don't talk back to your mama, don't do this to your
Right.
mama, never mind what mama did to you, you understand? And so what happened is, when I became older, I kept saying to myself, I'm not going to let anybody else talk to me that way. I'm not going to let anybody else do me that way. And watch this, the abused myself became the abuser.
Hello.
And I had the mentality of, I'm gonna get you before you get
Before
me.
you get
me. Yeah.
Right.
You
Right.
understand? And so, and then watch this, I was able to cry self-defense, because they offended me. Not,
Right.
they didn't do anything. They offended me. And it could have been with words. Oh,
Right.
but I was never Michelle Obama. If you go low, I'm going high. No, if you go low, I'm going lower.
I'm going lower. That's right, God.
Yeah.
That's what I said as well, because that is a part of I don't want to say your worth, because we know what we worth. We know what we worth. It's just not allowing people to take what we are worth away from us.
Right.
So we getting into all these different relationships without what you said last week, coating this person. And we just jump right in, and baby, I love you, and you had my hair done, and you got my nails done. That's what the financial abuse, that's where it came from. That's where it came from. And then it came on top of you not knowing who you are. So if you don't know who you are,
you let someone
then
else
you let somebody,
absolutely.
Absolutely. So we got to learn us.
Right.
Before we go into all these, and as I said last week, before we get that L word, I need to know who he is. I need to know who I am. Because you can't tell me you love me. You don't know me.
I just told one of my parents that she told me that she's dating. She has 2 small kids. She said that she started dating. I said, just keep on dating. Because that's how you find out. Because they're going to show themselves eventually. When you start dating, they're going to pull the chair out. They're going to pay the tab and whatever. Just date for a while so you can get to know this person. Because he's going to truly show his true colors sooner or later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am so I don't know where to go with this topic, because we can't start something today and it sticks as soon as you and I say good night. Oh, everybody got it, and it's gonna happen. But one of the things that I'm really interested, and Sharilyn was last week as well, is trying to get the lawyers and the judges, and plus
and the public, the political
figures, to be involved in this right here, because you have a strong organization, and I am so proud to know it, so I can pass that information over to young ladies and young men.
Yeah.
And but we need them, just as they treat us crazy, because I beat up him and I go to jail and they let me out in 2 days, or what we said, bond was $2, and then I turn around and kill the dog. I get life in prison for the dog. So they're not looking at my life work. So we need to go to them and fight them according to what's right for us, who I am.
Conviction. You have to fight them according to your conviction. And it goes so much into into voting. And a lot of people only think, watch this, a lot of people only think that voting is necessary when it's a president. But you have to understand that there are people that's in your community. Right now, I'm sitting at the community center, right? And I, it's election time. Then they're in there voting as of right now as we speak, right? And so my thing was, when I got here earlier, And I'm friends with everybody in here. So I said, well, how did y'all feel about the Republicans not showing up yesterday when it came time to vote?
Right.
And they was like, what you mean they show up? Oh, no, they didn't show up. And the reason why they didn't show up, because they knew that if they didn't show up, then there could be no vote.
Right.
And we're not worried about what was on the ballot to be voted for. It's the fact that you feel like you have that much gall, you have that much power that you can just pick and choose when you go to work. Whereas normal people like us, if we pick and choose when we go to work, we just don't go to work.
That's it.
They have no work.
And when we come back, when we get ready, why are you here? You didn't come yesterday, and you don't have a legitimate reason. So you're absolutely right. So we have to, people, you have to understand, this voting stuff is not for the birds. It's for us. It is so important. You have to know that we don't vote every 4 years. We ain't looking for a president every 4 years. We're living to get to those 4 years. And in order to get to those 4 years, we need to go vote now. We have to do it. Take somebody. You know somebody. Get them registered. I don't even want to start calling dates because I don't want to say the wrong date. But get your people registered like ASAP, so that we can take care of all of these. These are things that some of the people who I reached out to, they're at the moment. Listen, now I got some politicians, as friends, and I don't want to step on their toes. However, this is the time. It don't take but 10 to 15 minutes,
right?
And this is the time I need to hear from you. I need you to tell me what you're going to do for me for as this a domestic violence is going on. And all these other things are going on. Now, you want me to vote for you, but you can't give me 10 minutes.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So we need to know who do we reach out to? If you're not here and you're not in somebody else's show, how do I reach you? Why are you not here to help me?
You start by your state representative. That's where you start. And then, once you go there, actually we can go a step back. We can start going to our local police stations and start asking them, what resources do you have available for domestic violence abusers or survivors?
Right.
What resources do you have available? Collect that. Go to the resources that they give you to make sure that it is correct.
Right.
Because there's nothing worse than somebody in a dire position where they need assistance and then you give them an address that's not even active. Right. And these are all things that I had to learn along the way. So I went to the police station, watch this, when it's not an emergency.
Right.
And say, hey, this is what, I'm thinking of doing. Or this is something that I see that keeps happening. What do you have available? Right. Who would you, if I came in here and I was like, oh my God, I'm getting beat up, what would you do? What would you do? Well, where would you take me?
Right.
And then go to those places and see, watch this, what is the criteria for someone to get into that place? Because there are some shelters that don't take children. There's some shelters that don't take pets. There's some shelters that don't take women. There's some shelters that don't take men. So you have to know what the resources is for who.
And some that don't take families, period.
Exactly.
Yeah. But after the show last week, I pulled up some statistics. And for a misdemeanor, domestic violence is 30 days. 30 days in jail.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And a $300 fine.
Yes.
And that's it. It's because it's going to be a misdemeanor.
Right.
Your first time it's going to be a misdemeanor. 30 days in jail, then you're going to bond out on that. They're going to give you some community service, and then you're out to go and do it again.
Yeah.
And then now, you actually have to be a repeat offender to get some serious time. So you're going to beat me by 20 times and beat me half to death before you think that my life is worth something?
Right.
That was some startling stuff that I read.
Yeah.
And watch this, the ways of and this is important to know, the ways of getting higher sentences. It's 2 points that I want to make. Number one, we have to understand that back in the days, when you reported domestic abuse, they would come and take the gentleman to jail. Watch this. with no intent of keeping him there. But it was that it's designed. It's like, I'm gonna get him away from the house in enough time for you to get out before he gets back. Right. So that was the original design. And then secondly is, you're not really, it doesn't go above a misdemeanor unless they die. Then it goes to murder. Now, here's another issue that people don't know. If you decide to walk away from the scene, that's different than if you allow an ambulance to come and take you away. If you allow an ambulance to take you away, it increases the likelihood that prosecution can take place. Because what happens? You beat me up, you send me to the hospital, the doctor by law has to report it. So now the police have to come and they have to do a report. Now I have documentation.
Right.
But if you just walk away, be like, take him to jail, and then you just walk away, there's no paper trail.
Right. Okay,
so we have to think about that.
And you got me thinking. Okay, so now the next time you push me, I'm getting in the ambulance. All right, I'm getting in there so that they can call and say, yeah, she did it. Okay, so let me ask you. Wow, now you just, girl, you keep hitting some nerves. So in that whole thing, I asked this question earlier. Can a abuser be changed?
Yes. But watch this. There's always that but. I won't even say but, because but is a disconjunctive conjunction, which means it cancels out everything you said.
Right.
So I will say yes. However, it is through therapy, it is through counseling, and it's through God.
And they also have to have a desire to want to change.
Exactly.
We definitely have to have a desire to want to change.
But where does the desire come from? The desire comes from God softening your heart to the point of saying, wow, I really do have a problem. And then God revealing to you the reasons and rationales. Some people abuse after they drink. Some abuse after they smoke. Some abuse after a rough day. Some people don't know how to deal with stress. Some people are triggered from their prior abuse experiences and things of that nature. So you have to get to the root of it. Before you can get the boot to it.
Right. Oh, that's
somebody can retweet that. You got to get the root of it before you can put the boot to it.
Yeah. Now that was good, because I was thinking, and then I was talking to some people, because I've been talking to people about this topic right here, and I asked that particular question, and actually it was a man, and I said, can an abuser be changed? And he said yes, by killing him. I was like, oh, but let me fix it though, because they immediately thought that he shouldn't be doing it. So, and we're saying the same thing. No, we shouldn't get beat on, and we shouldn't beat on them. Now, I'm the one that we shouldn't be beating on them, because I told that last week, you hit me, I hit you back. But we just have to learn. We have to learn how to get to each other and support each other. Whereas I know I'm in a situation that I could run to Sharilyn, I could run to you, Doc, and say, I need help. And I want you to help me, not talk about me. So we as a I can say my generation, but the young generation that is coming behind us, we have to learn how to depend on each other that way. I can't to recognize the problem. I want to change it. Okay, I was just trying to read something. Y'all know I can't see.
You absolutely right, Deon.
Right. So these are just like they might seem or sound like little things, but they're so major, to get help. And say I went to Sally and she helped me. She taught me she taught me how to do some things, not to allow him to beat me, but she taught me how to prepare myself for the exit.
Right.
Yes,
exactly.
So,
and one of your viewers asked, well, why do women keep going back then? And it kind of goes back to what we were saying before, because they did not leave adequately. But then also you have to remember that domestic violence or abusive relationships are almost like roller coasters. Right.
Yeah.
So we start here, everything is great, beautiful, wonderful. Things get a little warm, get a little heated, get a little uncomfortable.
Right.
And then boom, we get to the top, we get to the peak of it. That's when the abuse happens. Well, then once the abuse happens, then it kind of comes down, it settles down. I realized I really did have a good woman. She really was good to me. He really was good to me. The sex was great. My kids need their father, and they manipulate you.
Yes. Yes.
In the calm of the storm.
Yes.
And in the calm of the storm, that's when our humanity kicks in. Because let's just be honest. I don't know many women who have just woke up one day and said, I don't want to, I want to be a single mom. I want to have my children and they not have their father. I want to do that. Nobody wakes up and does that.
I did.
Oh, well, most people
but
don't do it, right?
Yeah, but listen. I honestly did. And I got it from watching. And I should have stuck with my family relationship because my parents was good. And then I'll tell the story about that in a minute. But I looked at surroundings. My next door neighbor, every Friday night, he would beat her. And all you could do is hear her screaming and hollering and, all that good stuff. Call the police. And then I remember her saying, don't send me no black police, send me a white one. Because, it was crazy that she was getting beat just that often. And I just said, okay, what is going on? What is going on over there? And then when you see her, eyes all big and can on, lips was hanging down to the floor. And I said, I didn't want that in my life. You can't do that to me. And then here you go to the next door neighbor. Every Friday he did the same thing. I'm like, well, y'all ain't fighting back. That was my thought. Not fighting back. Not to know that it was some love in there. I love him. I don't want him to go. What? Yeah. These are the things that made me say I wanted the children and didn't want no daddies. I didn't want that in my life. And I am somewhat still proud of my decision on how I did things. Because a couple of times I probably could have been in jail. Because I'm a fighter. I was the fighter.
Now go ahead and have you a good laugh.
But I'm serious on it because I truly and always believe that if you hit me as I was taught, that I supposed to hit you back. And again, I say I knew I couldn't win all the fights, but I could win the war. And that's what I wanted. Because if I beat you, hit you, I know you didn't run back and tell nobody that, oh, yeah, well, Linda did this, Linda did that. Because that leads to me saying, is there a functional domestic violence abuser? Is that how you do it? I knew it is. I know it is with men because men not going to go and run and tell, my woman beat me up. And they going to work every day and coming back home with the same, my woman beat me up. They're not going to do that. But women, do women become addicted? What do you call it? Alcohol abuser. What? Functional. Functional abuser. Do women become functional domestic violence victims?
Are you saying functional survivors?
Not the survivor.
I haven't survived yet.
Because you haven't survived yet. you're still in the mix of everything, and he's still beating on you. But you get up
still,
and go to work.
You're still taking care
every
of
day.
Kids,
You're still
going to work. You're still going to church. You're still doing everything, and then you coming home weekend and getting beat every weekend.
Right.
Yeah, and that really is what they call a functional survivor. And the reason why it's called a functional survivor is because you're surviving the life of being abused repeatedly.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? So I've learned how to lie and say, "Oh, I tripped over a needle and hit my head on the treadmill and fell in the grease or something." You know what I mean? They learn how to cover it up. They, and so they appear clumsy, or something happened or what. But they become what we call professional survivors. And
that's the key word. Okay, well, listen, Doc, don't leave me. Give me a few minutes. I need to take a quick commercial. I'll be right back. Look, everybody, thank you so much. Give us a couple of seconds. We'll be right back with all the information that you need to know from Dr. Gibson. Gilbert. Sorry.
Domestic violence part 2.
Just a second. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for custom handcrafted fashion jewelry that makes a statement, look no further than Linda S. Jewelry, 1426. We specialize in quality pieces fit for any occasion. Follow us on Facebook at Linda S. Jewelry 1426 to view our inventory or to make a purchase. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
15 minutes. Welcome back. Thank you so much. I told you it was going to be really brief. We got some stuff. We don't need to stay out too long. So welcome back again, Dr. Gib.
We know you have to run.
Okay.
So can you just kind of close out? Because I know you have to run. You have some things you want to do. And you can close us out and we'll bring Miss Lisa Denae on.
Okay.
So just tell the people again
how to
reach you. Doc, I just want you to just blast everything everywhere because people need it. Please say it 100 times so they can reach you, please. And you all, if she gives you this information, please use it. That's why she's here to help. It's not going anywhere. If you need the help, please.
Call and just so that you know that you're safe, all of my staff signs an NDA. And an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. And so therefore all of your information is covered under the HIPAA law, as well as it is covered, legally. But you can go to jgilbertministries.com and you can just peruse in there. There's a whole tab that has DDV 365. And it tells you all about our services, what we have. We have life coaches, we have ministers, we have prayer warriors, we have the exit plan, and we even have a document that's called the Now What. And the Now What is, okay, I'm out, I'm safe, but how do I start my life all over again? Like where do I go? What do I do? And it's that piece that a lot of people are missing, which again makes them go back to where they came from. Because remember, I was in that for so long. And I know that, watch this, that fight was but for a moment. Not realizing that moment will come again. Will come again. So you need to make sure that you can go to the website. Yes, you can contact me from South Florida. I have resources from across the nation. We actually are opening a domestic violence center there this weekend. We'll be in a location. We also have last weekend, and I want to tell this quick story. But I wanted to say last weekend I was in Ohio. We opened 2 shelters there. And whenever you go, when you're involved in domestic violence and things of that nature, when you're a facilitator or an advocate, or you're going to minister, which is what I was doing there as well, they sequester you, which means they take your cell phones, they take your laptops, all of that, so nobody can ever ping you, find your location, and do you harm.
Good.
And but this particular time it was something just different. It was something different. And so sequestered all, let them take all my stuff. But when I got to the venue, I noticed that the survivors had their phones and they had their iPads and they had posters and all of this stuff. Can you sign it? I mean, they was just happy, y'all. Like, they was real happy.
Right.
And so I was a little salty because I can't play my game before I go to bed. I can't talk to my friends. I can't talk trash. Like, I'm just, sitting here watching the paint dry. So when the event was over, I went, and I'm going to close with this. When the event was over, I went to the facilitator, to the organizer. And I said, listen, now I try not to question too much. I'm not a big complainer. I don't say that I need water at room temperature and give me M&Ms and pick out all the brown ones. I don't do that. But I do ask that you be fair and that you be right. Now, why is it that they got all their stuff? And I ain't got nothing. Okay. Help me so I can help you, so we can all have a good understanding. Because the Bible says, in all you're getting, get a good understanding.
Right.
He said something to me that was so powerful. He said, Jennifer, I'm going to give this to you because I know that you can chew on it and you won't choke. And I was like, oh, Lord, here this preacher go. He finna be all deep and wonderful, right? And he said, understand that the abuser does not want to kill them. But if he kills you, then they die by proxy.
Oh, wow. Say that again. Say it again.
I'm going to put it in layman terms. The devil, he don't necessarily want to kill the underdogs, if you would. He don't want to kill the lay members, but if he can kill the men and women of God, if he can kill those who can speak life and who can speak freedom into the lives of the people of God, then the other people will die by proxy.
Yes. See,
which means because you stepped out in disobedience, because you decided that what your agenda was much more important than these other people, then guess what? Not only are you going to die, but they're going to die by proxy. And watch this, death does not always mean physically. It means mentally. It means spiritually. It means emotionally. It means psychologically. Watch this. If I can just shut you up. Come on, Simon. Satan desires to have you that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you.
Girl.
And just imagine, what if God would have said, you know what, I'm good.
Right.
How many of us would have died in our sin?
Say it.
So when we think about it, as I leave, when we think about survivors, I want you to think about how you put your mouth on these people.
Yes.
Because you are doing more damage to them with your mouth than their abuser did with their hands.
Yes. Girl. Okay, but see, listen, lady. You can't go nowhere. We got 20 more minutes. Hold on, y'all. Listen, I need you to bring the questions to her right now because I'm trying to beg her to stay. So I know Lisa is available and she's coming, but waiting. Doc is on the road right now. So if you have any questions, any concern, please put them out there. Please get the help that that's being offered to you. We pray that you see this and take this and run with it for your own safety.
And look for those signs in your friends, in your relatives, and reach out to them.
Yeah,
exactly.
They might not be ready right now.
Exactly. Right.
They might be ready tomorrow. Let them know that you're there to help them. Because they might not be ready right the time you ask them, but then 2-3 weeks down the road, they may say, I remember Linda offered me some help. Let me go to Linda and see if she's still willing to help me. So just put it out there. Look for those signs.
Yes.
You could come to South Florida if you wanted to. We'll put her on the plane. Y'all come on, get that date going so we can bring her there because this is so important. This is so important. Wherever you need her to be, Doc, see, I'm talking for you. Wherever you need her to be, that's where she is.
She will be.
It's not an issue. And I am so glad to see that people are asking for you to come.
Yes, yes.
That
And
says
and I and
support.
again, understand that DDV 365 is demolishing domestic violence 365 days a year, which as you can see, it's not October. October is the month of domestic violence awareness, but
Awareness.
we do it all year long.
Yes.
And so,
All day,
a
every
lot
day.
of people will wait until this time of year and try to book me, to capacity to where I can't even go to work. But
Right.
I want people to understand that people need this word
Right.
all year long,
Day,
Every day.
every day.
Every day.
all
And
year
I'm so
long,
glad.
every day.
I'm so glad that you stated that because that was what Cheryl and I conversed um, before we even did this. We wanted to show people that domestic violence not it ain't October. Today is September.
Mm-hmm.
September
Mm-hmm.
what 15th?
Yes.
And at this point, sometime somewhere, some man or some woman is getting abused right now. So
Mhm.
did they wait to October? No, they didn't. We
Right.
have to let this stuff be happening and be known to the world right now.
Right.
We can't wait. Okay, we're gonna wait till October. That's when they're aware of everything. Are you crazy?
Crazy, you might not even be alive in
In
October.
October.
Right.
Wait, October.
Right.
Yes.
Awareness month.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Please.
And also understand the propaganda. Again, I'm, a historian as well. And it's
Right.
historically proven that a lot of issues that
Mm-hmm.
are un unexposed, if you would, are
Mm-hmm.
done in October. And
Mm-hmm.
election day is in what? November. So the questions that they're uncomfortable with, we gonna put them in October, and we won't have time
To answer
to
every
Answer.
question.
address them
Yes.
before election day.
Yes.
That's a quick
Hey,
way of saying I don't have an answer.
every time. But listen, I just had someone just asked, can a man get help? How can a man
Yes,
get help? Yes. And you know what? It's okay, it's a lot. We know about women that are being abused.
But there are a lot.
There are a lot of men that are
yes.
being abused as well.
Now,
And
yes.
they ain't being abused by me. Y'all go ahead and stop saying that. But I'm just kidding.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of men that are being abused, and we do need to we do need,
Acknowledge them.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And,
We
and
need to, go
and
ahead.
that's the whole point and purpose of the play that we're doing next month. The Gospel Golden Girls and the men that they hurt. See, most of the time when you
Oh,
Go
go,
look at
ahead.
that.
Yes.
oh, look at there, come on,
Yes,
Jesus,
yes,
do it,
yes.
God. But what we need to understand is that only 26% of men report abuse.
That's what we that's
20,
what we
Yeah,
just
that's what we
talked
just talked
about it.
about.
We
When I was
just talked
when I was
about
looking
it.
at the
yes,
statistics.
Yeah.
26%. That's the only ones that are reported. It's not saying that it doesn't happen, but
Just
think about if a woman goes through that much shame and guilt and bitterness and all of this. Imagine what happens with a man,
That's
because now
why
you're
that's
messing
why
with
we
my
were saying
manhood.
men are functional abusers. I'm not
Mhm.
abusers, victims.
victims, right?
They are
Yes.
functional victims because they're
Mhm.
not gonna tell that Sharilyn pushed them down the stairs. They ain't gonna tell that.
They
They
have
ain't
a
gonna
car
tell
wreck
it.
every weekend, fall down the
That-
stairs
that's
every weekend. Every
right.
Monday morning, they got a
Yes.
different
Got a
story.
different story. So
And the interesting part was when God gave me the vision for this production, he told me, because I believe in being authentic and transparent about everything, including
right,
my life.
right,
And so he told me to reach out to men all over the world because we travel everywhere.
right.
He said, I want you to reach out to men all over the world, and I want you to see who will come and tell their story willingly.
Wow.
And so I held over 85 interviews. And what happened was these guys came and they shared their story. Some of them were still in it. Some of
Mm.
them, as a result of the play, some of my actors realized, dog, wait a minute. I think I was abused, didn't even know it. You know what I mean?
It's real. It's
Yeah,
real.
and so it was taking their words and putting it into art,
Yes.
making it a part of the script. And
Yes.
so these guys are coming from all over the world so that they can actually see
Mhm.
what does it look like? How is it? Because they don't know. Only
Right.
thing they did was they signed, the fact that I could, use their words and all of that good stuff. Of course, their names are not going to be there, But I wanted to honor them because
Yeah.
they didn't have to come forward. I
Right.
wanted to honor them because they did not have to tell. I
Right.
wanted to honor them because they did not have to survive.
Right. 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 Right.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah. That last piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's so important because you have to understand that survival is a choice. Okay.
Mm.
Somebody said, can you make it plain that
And
social workers not make the victims feel like they caused this
yeah.
and every woman
Yeah.
is going back to the abuser when she is taking the steps from social workers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Because we talked about this a little bit
Yes.
last week as well, and then we hit on it. But go ahead and answer that question.
So when really only time that social workers are involved is if there are children involved,
Mm-hmm.
which we always know as CPS. CPS
Right.
gets involved.
Right.
Or watch this, if it's elderly abuse,
Right.
and then they'll get involved. And so with that being said, they have steps. Watch this, political steps and
Mm.
political protocol that they have to follow. It's a checklist.
Oh,
Did you get her name? Did you get her number? Did you take a picture? Did you do this? Did you do
right.
that? Did you
Right.
it's a to-do list that
Right.
they have to do. And imagine how disconnected
Mm.
a social worker becomes when you can't even look me in my eye when
Hello.
I'm telling you
Hello.
about the fight of my life.
Yes. Yes.
How
Yeah.
indignant is that?
Right.
And so that we need to learn. And again, that leads back to the ill-prepared way in which people leave.
Right.
Because you never even honored me by looking me in my eye. You're
That's it.
treating me like I'm a case number, and you're
Right.
treating my case like it's a to-do list.
Right. Yeah. I'm
And
just
so
coming here.
now I don't want to tell you anything else because you're not even honoring
Right.
my word. You're not honoring my life. And then on top of that, you're trying to take my children.
Mm. Mm.
It says social workers also get involved in if the victim is economically disadvantaged or mentally or physically disabled. That is correct. So there are very few instances where they get involved, but they will get involved. But when you get involved again, that's oftentimes, not all the time. Sometimes you'll get a good one, but oftentimes that's going to be your experience.
Wow.
Well, don't when domestic violence happens, like to a woman or whatever, don't they have victim advocates at the police in the police departments that reach out to them? Because I know a friend of mine was involved in domestic violence, and when he got ready to get out of jail, the advocacy program called her before he got out and says, "Look, he's scheduled to be released on this day." Is that all they do, or do they do more than that?
That's pretty much all it depends on what you said. Again, remember I said if you walk away, you know they'll assign you a case number like they do if somebody bump your car. Right. But the only time that a victim's advocate, if you would, is involved is if you take the extra steps that I was telling you about earlier. And then what they'll do, depending on the severity of the case, now they will call you and say, hey, he's about to get out. But remember what I told you, the original intent for arrest is just to give you time to get out.
Right.
Now, if you chose not to get out in that time, I'm going to call you and I'm going to let you know he on his way home.
Right.
Now,
so that
means they threw that's it.
Yeah.
So, but when she gave you the hint or the call that he's about to get out, that's when you should have gotten your exit plan in order.
Yeah, you should start getting that together the day he went in.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. The day that he goes in, as soon as they close the door, that's when you go ahead and put that exit into play.
Yes.
And then by the time he's out, you should already be settled somewhere. That means, and another reason why they give you the heads up, if you would, is because if you have to go back and get any other documentation, anything that you left, anything that you need, that's the time to go get it before he's released.
Okay.
Because if he gets out and you're found in that home, it's like nothing ever happened.
Right, right,
Wow.
right.
Okay, Lisa. Um, Jennifer, hold on one second. We gotta take another quick. Y'all, this gonna be
Okay.
great. So get your little questions together. She's coming right back. Give us a break. See you in about 2 minutes. Two. All right. One minute.
One minute.
All
If
right.
you live in
30.
Houston and surrounding areas and are in need of quality childcare, contact Cuckoo's Treasures today. We provide professional childcare in a caring and nurturing environment. Do you work second or third shift or don't have a typical schedule? Cuckoo's Treasures can assist you. We're open 24 hours and some weekends. Give us a call today at 346-313-9064. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Okay, I told you we'll be right back. Okay, so listen, Jen, I know it's about time for you to exit, but
that was 22 minutes ago, G.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but it's good. You're very informative to do. I know y'all agree, and again, we're wishing and praying that you're taking her information, excuse me, and using it wisely. I'm not telling. I would never tell nobody to leave nobody because I can't take care of you, but I will tell you how
And
to
who,
get and
and
who to go
get in
to,
contact
right?
with.
So
direct you to the right person.
and this is Dr. Jennifer Gilbert. Doc, tell me again so they can put it on the screen how they can reach you. And yes, she's available to travel. Let me say that again. Book her before October. But give it to me for me, Doc, please.
Yes, they can go to jgilbertministries.com. And all of the information that you need is there, as well as the information to purchase and support the production that we're doing on next month called The Gospel Golden Girls and the Men That They Hurt.
Okay, so if you need um tickets, where can they buy tickets for the play,
You
please?
can go to Eventbrite to purchase tickets, or you can contact me directly. I have Cash App, Zelle, and all those great things. You can also go to the website, jgilbertministries.com, again, and it has the ticket link on there for you to go and purchase your tickets as well.
Okay. So if you need any help, any kind of assistance, or do you need anything, any help from the community? Do you need any help? How can they
Yes.
help you?
Yes. Again, you can go to the website. There's a donation button. You can go to the website. We have a lot of different activities that we do. We have survivor chat. There's a number of things that we do. And you can go there and just it's a contact us button and just let us know what it is that you can do to help us out. Next month, again, for the play, we are trying to bring in 127 survivors that will be able to see the show for free because they're not able to come when the masses are because they're still under protective care. And
Okay.
so, of course, we still have to pay the actors and we have to pay for the venue for that day. So any and all donations are accepted for that cause.
Okay.
So
Just
this lady had a really, really important question. She said that she has 3 children and he's not supposed to be there and her name is the only one on the lease. How does she handle that? That's the question right there.
Okay, he was put in jail and was told he couldn't be around my 3 children. I'm the only one on the lease and he's not supposed to come here. Then therefore you need to get a protective order. Okay. The first thing, the problem is with shacking, and I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a minute.
Go
Is
ahead.
the minute that you allow, grandmama used to always say, don't never let them put their shoes up under your bed.
Oh, yes, say that. Yes. That's it. You left your toothbrush.
And
I get it. That's it.
even though, we have a lot of old adages, they weren't intelligent enough to know the legalities of it. They just knew that was something that was passed from generation to generation. And I'm gonna tell you why grandmama and them said that is because as soon as he put shoes up under your bed, he is a legal occupant in that home.
Right.
That's it.
And so now you have to give him 30 days to get out of that place.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he's on the lease or not. Now, if he does something illegal, like if he does abuse you and you call the police, the first thing that they're going to say is, does he have I'm gonna use grandmama in them language. Does he have any shoes up under your bed?
That's it.
And if he does, then you have to, by law, you have become his landlord, and you have to give him 30 days eviction notice in order for him to get out.
Right. But in those 30 days, 30, that's 1 to 30. In between that dash, not Lisa, Jen, what happens?
Does she do? What does she do?
Yes.
Wait it out.
That exit plan.
Yes, you can. Exit plan. Well, no, what no? I would say give him the exit plan, but but no, seriously, that's what, it depends on, like this person. I was just gonna say, it depends on the laws of your state. In Texas, we're a common law marriage state. So God forbid that y'all are common law married. That's a whole nother ball game.
Okay, I got 3 minutes, Lisa. Jennifer, tell me what common law means in the state of Texas. Tell me what that means.
Common law marriage in the state of Texas means that you have been together in an environment for, I want to say, may have changed with all this other stuff, but I want to say 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
So every law, you would really
your wife.
Yeah, that's your wife to have and to hold.
On a legal document, you have checked my wife. Watch those tax returns that you file together. Yeah, watch those tax returns you file together, and you put them down that that's your wife. That's a legal document.
Yeah,
and you've acknowledged him as your husband or your wife, and that is valid in the state of Texas.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, this has been a fantastic evening. I hate to go. Y'all see, I was big and Jennifer to stay, and then Lisa would kept popping in. This is some good stuff, and these are some good people that you need to get some stuff going on with. And
next time you hit me, I'm gonna call that
the ambulance.
Ambulance. And the police, and I'm gonna have Linda arrest you.
Yes. Yeah. Get a paper trail going on. I ain't gonna hit them one time though. I'm gonna be out. Okay, so but on the real though, it's time for us to go. And Doc, we really appreciate you coming back on this part 2, which could be part 3, 4, 5. Lisa, you okay? Lisa. Beautiful.
Y'all never brought me in. You never brought me in, but that's okay. I'm gonna come in because I feel like this is important. There's no time limit in the state of Texas. There is no time limit. So there's 3 conditions that have to be met, and you need to go and look those up. But it could be 2 weeks. There's no time structure in the state of Texas. You really have to know the laws of your state. That's very, very, very important. Before you enter into any type of cohabitation, you need to know the laws of your state, because each state is different and each state handles it differently. So in the state of Texas, it don't have to be necessarily 6 months. You really have to go and look at the statute because it'll tell you exactly how it needs to be. So
wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much for our ignorance. But it was just, she was rolling. And then Lisa, tell them how they could introduce yourself. Let me do that all over now.
I'm not important, so you guys don't need to know about me. I'm just going to say this: the subject is important no matter who brings it. So it doesn't matter who tells the information, as long as the information is told. So that's the most important thing, because Lord knows it's not about me. It's about getting people the information that they need. So whomsoever brings the message, let the message be brought.
All right, well,
that's all that matters.
That's it. So, God, I love you so much, much. Thanks, Dr. Gilbert. We appreciate each and every one of you. Y'all look forward to, we look forward to seeing you
Thursday, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. And you'll know what the topic. If you have some topics that you want us to discuss, please inboxes. Go to Stunner Radio, YouTube, everywhere,
and all social media.
Okay. So it's our time. It's our time.
It's our time.
Yes.
Let's go.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our family. MIC, see you soon. KEY. Why? Because me and Sharilyn loves you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.